What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another Beta Memoirs. And today was another interesting day. I mean, what day is not interesting in the stock market, especially when you have a pandemic, you have supply issues, and you get tons of money getting pumped into the system? You get parabolic moves. Is what you get. Today, we didn't really have a parabolic move, though. Did have a lot of pumps today, finishing up with some Elon um, spatter on Twitter earlier today, this weekend. So it was quite interesting to see how that all played out. So it did sell a little bit, Tesla being said, and it bounced right back towards the end of the day. But we are selling, and we do have earnings, but more retail this week. So a lot of the big earnings most of the big earnings are essentially done. So we're kind of just waiting and seeing. A lot of the big tech that's run up, it's kind of slowly pulling back. The market doesn't want to dive. We saw that last week. Come Friday, everything just jumped and started running right back. We thought we were going to start selling off finally, and that wasn't the case. A lot of value had strength today. A lot of mid caps had strength today. So we're seeing that rotation. So I think it's only a matter of time before that rotation switches back into FANG stocks. But being said, we have to also remember it is option expiration week going into the holiday. So the volume and with the expiration coming up, I think we're going to see a little bit more selling. I don't think it's not going to be anything dramatic, in my opinion. What we're going to see is a little bit more of a pullback. I actually wouldn't be surprised if the SPX pulled back to this daily support to the 45.95. It's kind of where I'm looking at, just a big enough pullback to start touching some daily support, and then continue from that point. So the official expiration is on Friday, but people will start slowly swapping contracts over and stuff during a whole week. Come Friday, it might actually kick up and start running. Maybe even Thursday. We have to see. We're just kind of trying to judge where the market is from this point. Ultimately, you can tell when there's no exact news for the market to be selling, and it just sells. There's been news about lockdowns and stuff again going out, but as far as that goes, I don't think it's really affecting the market. It's more so, I think, just option expirations, because a lot of these aren't dramatically selling. They're just selling for no real reason. We do have stable coin on Wednesday, discussion with the Fed. That might wreak some havoc or bring volatility to Bitcoin, which in a sense can bring down your Coinbase, your MSTR. And ultimately see how it affects the market, because I've definitely noticed if Bitcoin has been stalling at all, it is running in parallel with the market. That's not saying that's going to forever be that way, but sometimes you have these cycles where things like this run in parallel, and you're starting to see that kind of with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin stalls, the market kind of stalls out a little bit. So we're kind of seeing that correlation a little bit. Bitcoin has essentially been kind of consolidating, as you can see, over the past little while, past month. We've definitely been playing this range, making all-time highs and selling off, and kind of just playing a really tight range, playing this 20 EMA on the daily, kind of just roughly floating around there, and seeing what's going to happen from that point. But being said, as far as earnings, again, a lot of retail. We have Lucid after close today. We have Walmart, Home Depot, SE. Tomorrow is a big one I want to watch tomorrow in the morning before open. And then later on this week, we got Target, we got NVIDIA, Cisco, Lowe's, Macy's, Baba, Applied Materials. So there's still a lot out there as far as a lot of big companies that you can play continuations on. Ultimately, I think midweek, I think we're going to see that rotation back into big tech. So I think big tech might sell off a little bit more tomorrow. Normally, big tech is going to pull down the market a little bit, but your Apples and your Microsoft has been holding fairly well. So we definitely have to see what goes in that direction. So as far as tomorrow goes, again, key indicators when the market gets like this is start watching big tech. Tesla obviously had this spike that I was talking about earlier. On the daily, though, one thing to keep in mind here, we are breaking back below the 20. And so what I'm actually expecting is Tesla to at least come down to this 932 mark, hit this 20. Now, my thing is Tesla back below 1,000. I don't think it's going to last very long. I think if it does hit the 50, it's going to be a wick and possibly continue up. Again, there's no way of knowing, right? But ultimately, understand Tesla's been selling off hard, especially with what's been going on with Elon and selling shares. That's what really brought down the price dramatically. But I think it's only a matter of time. Once tech does flip, you're going to see Tesla flying at that point. And so I'm just trying to gauge that correctly. Either one, it breaks the wedge tomorrow, or I'm looking for that 50 test, get in there, tight stop when it gets to the trend, or up here back to the 20 on the daily, because normally you get a retest of the 20 and then you get selling off. But I don't see that with Tesla. Especially, I think we got a lot more gas in the tank till going into next year. Get just a little bit of a dip and then start tearing up. Facebook had a monster day today. It actually gave a lot of it back today, but it is flagging. So the one to keep on definitely on watch tomorrow. But if the market's going to sell, if the options expiration is going to be an issue, we could be retesting here actually. But if it's going to be an issue, look for a retest. You definitely want to hold. This 345 would be a great hold. If not, definitely want to see what happens there. I do like Facebook. Apple's been kind of stagnant. Square had a nice move up today. I did catch this out of the gate. But this could be a good continuation. It's floating around that 200. I definitely want to break and hold above this. And now that you got the hourly 200, I really want this hourly 200 to come back down and then have essentially a gap over is probably what will happen in an overnight session, but we'll have to see about that. But I do like Square for tomorrow. PayPal is another one you could say you want to watch for tomorrow because of that, because it looks just like Square. Google is playing higher numbers here. I don't really know how much more Google is going to push. It definitely needs to break all-time highs and hold above it, I think, before even considering getting back in, or at least coming back down to this 2908 mark and kind of hovering around here, at least playing the range. It's a good size range. This middle ground, trying to wait for it to come back down to be able to start playing this again. Again, too high. It's already been rejected a couple different times here on several different days, and another rejection here early this morning. So waiting on that. Coin, again, want to see what happens with the stablecoin stuff on Wednesday. Maybe that's what Bitcoin is waiting for, is to see what the judgment is from the Fed and what they have to say about it. So that might be what ignites essentially the whole market into going and seeing how Bitcoin is really reacting with the market in general. But Roblox, that's MSTR. Roblox has been a beast, but it is struggling around this 108 mark. I think as far as like forward guidance and stuff, I think Roblox is a great investment period, especially if you're looking 5-10 years out, and especially with the whole meta hype and everything going around that. But my thing is the meta stuff isn't for a couple of years. You're still looking a couple more years down the road. I actually expect this to come down a little bit. I don't really think it's going to run very much higher. Being said, I don't like to give price targets. It's just a feeling that I don't see it happening. Once it hit 100 initially, it kind of barcoded and just sold after that point, and it kind of held low for a while until this past earnings, and then bumped right broke back over it. So now we kind of want to see what happens at this point. Again, I don't think it's got much more steam to run. Again, it's a long ways. The model it has, as far as like the Metasphere and the metaverse and everything, it's still got a long time before it reaches that. It does have a good growing majority of users, and I do love the business model and everything. But ultimately, as far as the metaverse, I think the metaverse hype from Facebook kind of drove this up and is keeping this up for now. I think that will eventually die out here in another week or two. This will probably come back down to earth a little bit. create a new base. I know it's been basing around essentially 75, 80 mark as of recently. We'll have to see what new base is created after that. Snap, starting to show some promise, starting to come back to life. One to keep on watch tomorrow. Definitely don't want it below this 55.35 mark. You want to hold above this range. It's been it's been holding quite a while below this range. So you definitely want to hold above this. If it does hold above this, could be a good pickup tomorrow. Again, you got a lot of overhead resistance. So you have to realize you're going to be fighting an uphill battle. So there'll definitely be a lot of chop trying to get up through that. UPST, this is actually kind of disappointing. This is starting to break lower. So what I'm looking for UPST is actually trying to base around that 200 EMA on the daily, which is essentially roughly around the 200 mark. Once it reaches that point, I will take a position, possibly for overnight swing. But we want to definitely keep that on watch and see where that is going. Amazon still showing a lot of strength, but keeps getting rejected here after 36.05 mark. I don't think this might attempt to push it one more time tomorrow, but I don't see this breaking past that. I think it's going to start pulling back along with everything else with the options expiration, kind of setting up for the rest of the year with lower volume and stuff. So just something to keep on watch moving forward. Affirm's been holding fairly well. I did take a position in this, and then I did actually break even on this because I don't want to write this down in case it did break the 145 mark. Another one to keep on watch moving forward. Shop had that massive move of the news on it should be $1 trillion company, and it was only 20 billion before this pop. So it looks like that news might actually be dying out. But definitely keep this on watch. It could be consolidating today, and we might actually get a parabolic move tomorrow. So that is definitely want to watch that. I think the market's going to turn. A lot of these things are holding very well. So that's something you want to be watching FANG to see when the market starts turning. Once FANG starts running again, you'll probably get a couple of days of FANG running, and then you'll start seeing other movement within mid caps and smaller caps at that point. SC earnings tomorrow, definitely want to keep on watch. If it does beat expectations and starts rocketing, I definitely want to play continuation on this because it does get really parabolic moves, especially with the e-commerce side of it and with the gaming side of it. And with Roblox, it's just destroying what it did. I'm not too familiar with their gaming side and how advanced it is as far as if they have any kind of metaverse thing set up that way, or if it's more like a Netflix approach to gaming with mobile and stuff like that. So for me, I want to see how they do. If they do destroy expectations and start running tomorrow, I definitely want to be all eyes on SC tomorrow. TTD has been it's been an absolute beast continuation on this with the ad space. So definitely it has had a couple of parabolic runs here, so I don't really know how much gas. I think what's really continuing to push this up is the fact that a lot of other big FANG is losing gas right now because of everything that's going on. I know even chips have been kind of struggling today, but they're playing range. So chips can be on watch, I would think, moving forward. Trying to think what else there is. MEMS had a little bit of a run today. A lot of stuff that pushed kind of like chopped up, so it wasn't really the greatest. So we're just kind of waiting to see options expiration. It's going to be a lot of chop and stale stuff. You'll get a nice first move in the morning, and then perhaps a nice move towards power hour, and that's pretty much it until they figure out what's going on, and then everything will start moving again. So just being patient with that. Rivian tomorrow will have options. I believe enough volume is normally turned over. If enough volume is turned over from IPO into the following Tuesday, normally options are available. So I believe enough volume has been trading on Rivian. So we should see options on Tuesday tomorrow. Again, you don't want to jump right into them because they're trying to determine pricing. So you could jump into an option right at open, and then they mispriced it, and then you get the even break even is some ridiculous point value you're going to have to make up. So definitely be careful with that. Give it time and let it kind of equal out, especially if there's option expiration and a lot of stuff starts selling tomorrow. It might get a better price on options if you just let it ease off and sell off a little bit. But that is pretty much what I got for everybody. And remember to manage risk. Be cautious this week until you get certain, until you are certain and you get confirmation on what the market is doing. Again, options expiration, you'll know the market will flip and just start running. At that point, you look for laggers as opposed to holding something and getting chopped up and then waiting for the market to move at that point. You get a lot of premium burn that way, so you got to be careful. Nonetheless, if you made it this far, remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.